Is the giant Amazonian plant which made modern architecture look the way it does. I'm in Kew Gardens in London in a building purpose-built to show off a single plant, this giant water lily. You might not think it is one of the most significant plants ever. Here is why. In 1837, a German explorer in the Amazon, the unpronounceable Robert Schomburgk, found what he called a vegetable wonder, these lilies. They were well known to the indigenous Amazonians, but Europe was astonished. 3-meter leaves, 20-foot roots. One floating leaf could support the weight of a child. For many years after they came to Europe, that is all they were used for. You can see this, all of these leaves here, that is one plant. So the species was brought to London. It was named after Queen Victoria, which at the time was pretty much legally compulsory, and there began a race among botanists to grow one in the UK, to get it to flower and to present it to the Queen. But it was a challenge. They needed light and warmth and a huge floor space with no pillars to spread out. Not an easy combination at the time. Enter Joseph Paxton, chief gardener to the Duke of Devonshire. In his greenhouse, the Great Stove, he replicated Amazonian soil, he warmed it to the right temperature, and in 1849, his flowered. You can see what the flowers look like just in the middle here. The flowers last 2 days. He had won the race. To celebrate, as was customary, he popped his own daughter Annie on one of the leaves. But Paxton was not just a gardener, he was a designer. And when his lily kept growing, he designed a dedicated conservatory for it. To make it spacious and light and strong, he used prefabricated iron and plate glass modules. And what's more, he had observed how the lilies float. They have crossed ribs, they spread their weight across a series of miniature arches. Paxton based his lily house on the structure of the lily itself. It was light, it was strong, it only needed a few cast iron columns to support it. And here is where architecture comes in. Because in 1850, Britain was planning the Great Exhibition, a huge display of 19th century imperial pomp. But the planners were stuck for a building. The committee in charge had rejected 250 designs, time was running out. And then Paxton casually pitched his idea for, effectively, an enormous lily house. Iron columns and glass panes, prefabricated and modular. He said it only required a number of such structures as the lily house repeated to form a suitable building. When he pitched it, he brought along a drawing of a water lily leaf. In his words, nature was the engineer. He did also consult an actual engineer. He got the job. Within 6 months, the Crystal Palace was complete. Today, so many big modern buildings, shopping centres, airports, offices, they carry DNA from the Crystal Palace. The famous architect Norman Foster has said it was the birth of modern architecture, all down to this lily. And the final amazing thing, we are still learning from these wonderful plants. Only in 2022 did scientists properly unravel their mechanics and how they bear their weight. They may yet teach us how to make gigantic floating solar panels at sea, known as photovoltaics. All these years on, we're still learning from them. Here is the giant